Shalom.
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 I do this every week. It's not shalom. It's what?
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I like my background. Shout out to Lauren. Hallelujah. So we're starting relatively early this morning, and I do have I want to pick up where we dropped off last week. So let's go back. So welcome everyone. I'm sorry. Welcome to the Ark. Welcome to everyone online, everyone that's checking us out on YouTube and Facebook. This is a pre-recorded message. We're not going live, but hallelujah. You can still leave comments. The Ark of New Jersey. We just had a moment where we laid hands on someone that is going off to college, and so the message is sort of like not personalized to her, but it is personalized to her because it's a message that all of us need to pay attention to. And we're going to start out because just follow me for a minute. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. So when I say that somebody is a pig-eating fool, you are what you eat. Pay attention to your diet. Everyone needs to pay attention to a diet. You're going away to college, you need to pay attention to your diet. You don't need to be like, oh, I'm on my own now, I can eat, just throw all kind of junk in your mouth. Right? Oh, I was talking spiritual diet.
Right.
Throw all kind of junk in your brain.
Yes. Not
All right, so twofold. We are a spiritual being. We are a physical being. So when you listen to this message, it's going to hit you in both directions. Sugar Ray Leonard was one of my favorite boxers. I don't know which punch hurt worse, his left hook or right jab. He could hurt you with both hands. Okay, so I want to attack you with both jabs. I may go southpaw, and I may go, what's the other? Southpaw's left-handed.
Left-handed.
Conventional, right-handed, right? So you're going to get, hopefully with this message, both are coming at you, switching up on you. All right? So let's go with Yechezk'el, 2nd chapter. We talked about this last week, about the wheel in the middle of the wheel and this being with all these faces, and they're always going forward. I didn't really touch on this, that when he first started talking about this, it was a storm. He said first it was a storm, and then beyond the storm, he saw the manifestation of these beings, and then he saw the throne. And then in the throne was the rainbow. Remember that rainbow? I said we want a rainbow back. You stole our rainbow. All right. So we went past the storm. And trust me, storm is coming. Storm is coming big time. Okay. Now we're at, and then he said to me, 2nd chapter. Good. Yechezk'el, chapter 2.
I mean, 9 should be around here somewhere. Okay. 2. And he said to me, Son of man, stand on your feet, so that I speak to you. And the Ruach entered into me when he spoke to me, and set me on my feet. And I heard him who was speaking to me. And he said to me, Son of man, I am sending you to the children of Yisra'el, to a nation of rebels who have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me until this day. And the children are stiff of face and hard of heart, to whom I am sending you. And
Go ahead, finish that first.
And you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuwah, and they, whether they hear or whether they refuse, for they are a rebellious house, shall know that a prophet has been in their midst.
Okay, so he sends Yechezk'el, a prophet. He sends a prophet. He sends his prophet to who?
The children of Israel.
To the children of Israel. The Father sent the prophet to the children of Israel. And what did he say about them?
They transgressed and they're stiff.
They're
face,
stiff neck,
hard
hard, their forehead stiff. They are just rebellious. Okay? So I want you to hear this, because watch where we go. He sent his prophet to his nation. Do you realize, out of all the nations that were ever created, you know the order of the nations? Anybody know the order of the nations? The nations. Anybody know the last nation that was made?
United States of America.
No, that's a really. Well, I guess that you could call that a nation, right? The last nation in God's kingdom that was made is Israel.
Huh.
Think about that. All the other nations existed. And then he created a new nation. He pulled out Israel. United States is just a hodgepodge of nations combined together to create another nation.
Well, then that would be everything after Israel then.
Yeah.
Because they all are descended from that table of nations in Genesis 10.
Okay?
Yeah.
Read on that. All right. So he pulls out his nation, and then he says, these people are just rebellious, but I'm gonna start sending people to them. I'm gonna send judges to them, and I'm gonna send prophets to them, and eventually I'm gonna send my son to them. There's a pattern, and I think most of us miss the pattern. The pattern is not for all the other nations. This is not the white man's book, and this book is not intended for them, nor anybody else. This book is designed and is a pattern for his nation, his people, a rebellious people. All right, come on. 4.
And the children are stiff of face and hard of heart, to whom I am sending you. And you shall say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuwah. And they, whether they hear or whether they refuse, for they are a rebellious house, shall know that a prophet has been in their midst. And you, son of man, do not be afraid of them, nor be afraid of their words. Though thistles and thorns are with you, and you dwell among scorpions, do not be afraid of their words, or discouraged by their looks, for they are a rebellious house. And you shall speak my words to them, whether they hear or whether they refuse, for they are rebellious. And you, son of man, hear what I am speaking to you. Do not be rebellious like that rebellious house. Open your mouth and eat what I am giving you.
What are you eating? What are you eating? Don't be rebellious. Don't let the sins of your neighbors become your sin. Don't be Okay, so you're going away to school. Don't let that happen. You have to eat right. You have to eat right. You have to be in this. You have to have his food. His spiritual food's got to get into you. It's got to be into you so much that if you get a stomach ache and you throw up, you should be throwing up his word. You know how you get sick and you throw up and everything that you had in you comes out? What comes out should be your word, be his word. It's got to be in you so much that when you, whatever comes out, it's got to be what's in here. What's in here has got to be in here. So you have to literally take his word and start eating it. And if there's something that you've heard or that you read, do like she's doing now. Take notes, write it down, ingest it. Make it part of you. We need, because we won't always have the internet.
Right.
We may not always have a book because we may find ourselves in a spot where we can't get a hold of the word. It's got to be within us. Okay? We're talking about that. Come on. Where are we at? 10.
10. And he spread. And
Do 9 again. Do 9 again.
Okay. And I looked and saw a hand stretched out to me, and see, a scroll of a book was in it, and he spread it before me.
He took the book and he scrolled. Books are, we see books, but it was actually rolled up, a scroll. He spread it out. Right? All right, go ahead.
And it was written on the inside and on the outside.
Okay. The tablets were also written on both sides. Right? They weren't just written on one side. I have a tablet out over there, and we only see what we see on the one side because that's good for plaques. It's good for statues. It's good for, it's convenient because it says that he wrote on the tablets both sides of both tablets. Okay, so it was written on both sides.
And written on it were lamentations and mourning and woe.
And woe. Don't miss the woe. Don't miss. Everybody know what a woe is, right?
Destruction.
Woe is like you get the bad report from the doctors. Woe is oh my goodness, it's just bad. Okay, lamentations. Talk about that. What's a lamentation? What are you lamenting over?
Regret. Destitution. Desperation.
I like the regret. Because if I should have, I could have been, all these are little statements we use before we start lamenting, right? I should have, or I shouldn't have, right? And then we all look back and we think, like, a whole lot of people are lamenting that they started and then they couldn't stop it. I'll do something real easy. A whole lot of people are lamenting over the fact that they started smoking cigarettes. It's not that big of a deal.
Of course it is.
That's what, it's not that big deal. It's just a little puff. Next thing you know, you're spending, I think it's, what is it, $7 a pack? Something like that for a pack of cigarettes.
It's more than that here. It's close to $10.
$10. Like, I'm going to pay $10 for a pack of cigarettes. And guess what? Most cigarettes, the filter has got that pig stuff in it. So you sucking on pig stuff. Whatever that stuff is. That filter.
Crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Diabolical.
Pig hairs in a filter?
Yes. And the filter is pig hairs. You can put pig stuff all up in your mouth. That's cool.
I'll tell you what about lamentation. When I was in school,
They did a blood drive and people was donating blood and they couldn't use it. 'Cause folks had contracted all these STDs and things like that. And it's like the incubation period, waiting on the result. That's a time of lamentation.
Yeah. And it's out there. It's like everybody seems to have STD?
STI, STD and STI.
I didn't know there was two of them.
Infection.
Must be the first cousin.
Disease, one can be cured, the other can't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you don't want to be lamenting because the lamenting is the first step before the woe.
Yeah.
Because the woe is like, you ever been I can testify to this. Been in a room with somebody with AIDS, and gangrene was all up in their feet, and by the time when you walked in the room, the place stunk. Yeah, you gotta really like back up and like, okay, I can do this. To get in and just to minister or to talk to the person and not look like you're upset about the smell.
Yeah.
Lamenting, lamentation, mourning. Oh. Okay. And woe. Moreover, chapter 3.
And he said to me, Son of man, eat what you find, eat this scroll and go. Speak to the house of Yisra'el.
Eat. Okay. Here's the deal. There's a lot of preachers preaching that haven't eaten. You're preaching, but you haven't eaten. You haven't digested the word, so that you're just throwing something out there because I've been called. The digesting of the word. You need to make sure that the word is in you, like saturated in you. Eat it. Eat it. And when you get done eating it, eat some more. You can't, this is the only meal that you can't overeat. You can overeat on a vegetarian meal. You can overeat on, what are some, the Daniel meal. You can eat, you can set it up and say, I'm only going to do this because this is good food, and you can still overeat. Gluttony has no preference. So there's people that can overeat on natural food, and we're not even talking. I like to talk to mostly people that live right, and when I say live right, they eat right, because it's all about your diet. So I keep, like I said, left and right. So I'm going to bring back some of the natural as well as the physical. You can't live right if you don't eat right. If you eating pig stuff and you eating shrimp and you eating crab and you eating all this other stuff, you're not living right. That's a lie, and the truth's not in you. Yeah, I'm saying it. I'll say it again. It's a lie, and the truth's not in you. You can't possibly be eating foul and be righteous. You don't like it? Talk to Daddy. Because he wrote it. It sounds aggressive and it sounds harsh, but it's truth. I'm not here to make you feel good. It's truth. He's already shared his dietary law. What did he tell Ezekiel? Eat the scroll. Eat all of it. And then you can speak to Yisra'el. You can speak only once you have the dietary food within you. Like, I don't know. I almost want to say ex-martial artist because I haven't trained in a long time. But as a martial artist, why would I go try to learn from someone that's not groomed in the art? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. I went and found someone that was nurtured in Tong Sudo. and I learned from him because I knew he knew what he did. What he knew how to do what I wanted to do. How can you sit under someone that does not live right, but then you think you're going to learn right? 90% of Christianity are people that don't live right, and then they tell you how to live right. Verse.
What was that? Verse 3. And he said to me, Son of man, feed your stomach and fill your stomach with the scroll that I'm giving you. And I ate it, and it was as sweet as honey in my mouth. And he said to me, Son of man, go to the house of Yisra'el, and you shall speak to them with my words. For you are not sent to a people of foreign speech and of difficult language.
Say what?
For you are not sent to a people of foreign speech and of difficult language, but to the house of Yisra'el.
So he's not sent to these people that speak strange languages.
No, the
He's-
Christian missionary?
Not sent to them.
Okay. Just check.
That's why we can have the Christian missionaries over in Africa raping all the little girls and thinking everybody's
And
thinking.
boys.
And the boys. Oh, I'm on it today. This is not going to be a very long message, but hopefully it's a deep message. He sent the prophet, told him to eat it. Read it. Read the word. Eat the word. Absorb it. Get it into your ruach so that it becomes part of you. So that when you're attacked, what comes out? The word. Where are we in that?
On 5. For you are not sent to a people of foreign speech or of difficult language, but to the house of Yisra'el. Not to many people of foreign speech and of difficult language, whose words you do not understand. If I had rather sent you to them, they would have listened to you. But the house of Yisra'el is going to refuse to listen to you. I'm laughing because
This is crazy. This is like the hardest people to teach. I know that Yah has called me to reach out to Yisra'el. I know that the hardest people to listen that will pay attention will be Yisra'el. It's us. It's like we're the hardest people. If you want an easy lesson, go try to teach the white man. Go try to teach the Chinese. And guess what? They'll listen. A lot easier than us because we are too stiff-necked. We got too many problems in Zion. We don't want to listen to anybody. We feel like I got the answer. We're all right in our own eyesight. When Yah sends his prophet, he already shared with the prophet that most of you will not listen. Most of you will reject truth. Come on, because we're going somewhere. I only have a few more minutes. Go ahead.
But the house of Yisrael is going to refuse to listen to you, for they refuse to listen to me. For all the house of Yisrael.
What verse is that?
7.
Verse 7, he said that, they're going to refuse to listen to me.
The house of Yisrael is going to refuse to listen to you,
Uh-huh.
for they refuse to listen to me.
That's the whole deal. It's not that you're refusing to listen to Yechezk'el, that you're refusing to listen to this Yechezk'el. You're refusing to listen to Yah. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 7. Read it. You're rejecting the only one that can deliver you. All right. Come on, read.
See, I shall make your face as hard as their faces, and your forehead as hard as their foreheads. Like adamant stone, harder than flint, I shall make your forehead. Like adamant stone, harder than flint, I shall make your forehead. Do not be afraid of them, nor be discouraged at their looks, for they are a rebellious house.
And I'm grateful for a few things. I'm grateful for my forehead. Because it's just as stiff-necked as yours. He said, I'll put it in your forehead. I'll make you just as... Okay, so the battle's on. The fight is on. I've eaten my word, and this is what I come out with. And I'm willing to share with you truth if you're willing to accept it. 90% of the time, you're probably not. It says right there in the book. Because you're stiff-necked, hard-headed. Let's take. Oh, let me see where we're at. We're at 8.
Verse 10.
10.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go down to 14. Keep reading.
And he said to me, Son of man, receive into your heart all my words that I speak to you, and hear with your ears, and go. Come to the exiles, to the children of your people, and speak to them and say to them, Thus said the Master Yahweh, whether they hear or whether they refuse. And the Spirit lifted me up, and behind me I heard the sound of a great rumbling voice. Blessed be the esteem of Yahweh from his place, and the sound of the wings of the living creatures touch one another, and the sound of the wheels beside them, and the sound of a great rushing.
Don't forget, he's looking at that vision. He's got that wheel inside the middle of the wheel, and the angels, all the cherubims. Okay, so he's seeing this now. It's making a little bit of noise. Come on, 14.
And the Ruach lifted me and took me away, and I went in bitterness in the heat of my spirit, while the hand of Yahweh was strong upon me.
Strong upon him. All right, now I have a limited amount of time, so let's run over to the book of Luke. He's being moved by the Spirit, right? Luke, chapter 4. If I had time, I really wanted to walk through the whole chapter 4. We're not going to do that. But it's really like, okay, it's all about your diet. What are you eating? It's all about your diet. You ready?
I'm ready when you.
Let's go.
And Yahushua, being filled with the Ruach HaKodesh, returned from the Yarden and was led by the Ruach into the desert.
The same Spirit that led Yechezk'el is now leading somebody else. The same one that led the prophet is now leading the son. Same Spirit, same message to the same people. Like he's not going to anybody else. The one you called Jesus, is reaching out to the same people that Yechezk'el reached out to. This message is the same message to the same people. All right, let's read. Being led by the same Spirit.
And in those Yamim, or in those days, he did not eat at all. And afterward, when they had ended, he was hungry.
Okay, he's hungry because he hasn't eaten physically. All right. Remember I said left hand, right hand? Combination punch. Physically, he has not eaten. All right.
And the devil said to him, if you are the son of Elohim, command this stone to become bread. But Yahushua answered him, saying, it has been written, man shall not live by bread alone.
Where he's, okay, so 40 days of him not eating. This devil, Hasatan, comes before him and challenges him. And what comes out of his mouth? The word that he had already absorbed. He is the word, but it's the word that he had been eating prior to this. 40 days he hadn't eaten physically. But he was guarded up spiritually, so when he was attacked, the word is what came out of his mouth. Every time you listen to Yeshua speak, he speaks Torah. And we want to get rid of Torah, but Torah is what comes out of his mouth. Constantly. All right.
And the devil, taking him up on a high mountain, showed him all the reigns of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said to him, all this authority I shall give to you in their esteem, for it has been delivered to me, and I give it to whoever I wish.
When I listen to that, I'm like, whoa, whoa. Did you just hear what he said, how Satan said? He said, all this was given to me. He is the what? God of this world. The world's been given into his hands. And so what did you just read? What the end of that? I give it to whoever I will.
Whoever I wish.
See, it's not a strange thing when you start seeing